really long. Imagine you're driving on the road and someone suddenly covers your face for 5 quick seconds, like this. You will probably feel very lucky if you didn't crash. But you chose to take your sight off the road just like that anytime you're sending or reading a text. Texting and driving is fast becoming the leading cause of teens' death on the road world over, surpassing even drinking and driving. But if you think dying in a car crash is the worst thing that happens to you, I tell you it is not. You can survive after you've killed someone else. Imagine spending the rest of your life knowing you killed someone just because of a text message. Now imagine going to jail just because of text message. Still think it will never happen to you? Still think you're the special one?
Inauguration of Nigeria and Malaria Council by President Muhammadu Buhari is deliberate strategy to tackle malaria. Expectedly, states and other donor agencies are to key into the initiative tackling malaria scourge by Kaduna State in line with Nigeria and Malaria Council mandate is the focus of Panorama today. Glad to have you join us. I am Salamatu Lukman Muhammad. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live and on YouTube channel NTA News Online and our other social media platforms displayed on the screen. Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi Eson, has inaugurated an anti-corruption and transparency unit in the office of the head of the Civil Service of the Federation. Haman Jabani reports that this is for transparency and accountability in the implementation of government's policies.
The fight against corruption remains a priority of the present administration, hence the need to strengthen anti-corruption reforms in the various ministries, extra-ministerial departments and agencies. It is in the light of this that the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi Eson, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Common Service Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Yusuf Ibrahim Idris, says there is need for unwavering commitment and diligent pursuit of policies that seeks to promote transparency, accountability, while discouraging and sanctioning all forms of corruption tendencies among civil servants.
This important event comes at a historic time when government service in its efforts to reduce waste and promote openness has, as far as reform initiatives, commence the systematic implementation of preventive measures through development of standard operating procedures. However, for actors to maximize their potentials, this office should step up in assisting the ICP in enforcing NDA's compliance on actual establishment and operations, which in the long run will help to improve the image of the public service and overall fight against corruption and inequality.
In another development for the sustenance of implementation and consolidation of the gains of the Federal Civil Service Strategic and Implementation Plan 2021 to 2025, the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation has trained director-level cadre officers on productivity management, leadership, and managerial skills and personal effectiveness. The training is aimed at reawakening consciousness of the participants towards understanding the meaning of leadership and its practicability in the workplace. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
The ongoing aerial spray of pesticide across breeding areas of quail birds, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture is providing timely intervention to farmers against some of the worst pests capable of turning farmers' hope to a nightmare. Amin Umar reports on the spray project across Kano and Jigawa State.
This is the peak of the rainy season, the time when hope is beginning to rise. As the farm now turns green, the crops beginning to bear, giving light of high expectation for a bumper harvest. Quilla birds are the usual obstruction. They invade farmlands, dampen farmers' morale, in addition to consuming their precious time and produce.
We appreciate federal government for this spray. We hope they will sustain it.
We thank God and appreciate federal government for their intervention against this terrible threat. All we can say is thank you, and we hope it will be sustained.
The area spray from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture is a yearly intervention to these farmers. It is aimed at providing solutions and rescuing the farmers from this yearly trend.
We have sprayed a lot of roosting and nesting side of the birds in Kano, and now we are in Jigawa to complete the operations.
We take care of their farming activities in terms of reducing the pest infestation so that they can have maximum output.
With this intervention, farmers are now optimistic of achieving the maximum gain from their labor. In Kano, Amin Umar, NTA News.
As part of efforts to improve agricultural activities and marketing of green crops, Katsina State Government, in collaboration with development partners, has commenced training of enumerators for data collection strategies on recording road features in southern Katsina senatorial zone. Sani Basiru captured the flag off of the 5-day training and sent in this report.
Farmers are the key players in providing food for both people and animals, and as well contribute immensely by generating revenue to the government. This deemed it necessary for Katsina State Government, in collaboration with development partners, to provide access road for farmers. The 5-day training of enumerators for data collection strategies or recording road features is aimed at identifying rural roads in Katsina State that need urgent attention to enable farmers have easy access to various grain markets.
The idea is to collect information on the ground that will be used in finalizing designs for the construction of this access roads in Katsina State.
We expect every participant to be able to understand how to record features and how to transmit the features to the relevant holder in the drive.
Facilitators in their separate presentations maintain that the data collection will determine the roads that will be selected for construction or rehabilitation. They assured that measures have been taken to ensure success of the program. 36 enumerators and 6 facilitators are engaged in the 12 local government areas. From Daura, Sani Basiru, NTA News.
Similarly, motorists plying Kano-Maiduguri Road are excited with progress of work at Muhammadu Buhari Interchange Flyover project, which, if completed, will ease traffic congestion experienced in that corridor. The project, conceived by the administration of Governor Umar Ganduje, is designed not only to enhance free flow of traffic but provide infrastructure that will stand a test of time. Our Salisu has an update on that project.
Kano, being the commercial hub of northern Nigeria, attracts heavy traffic flow that causes congestion in major roads across the city. The Muhammadu Buhari Interchange Flyover is one of the projects initiated by Kano State Government to ease traffic congestion at strategic areas in the metropolis. The project, sited at the ever-busy Hotoro by NNPC Mega Station Roundabout, also serves as a link to about 7 states in Nigeria and neighboring countries of Chad, Cameroon and Niger Republic. Kabiru Dahiru Sule, a motorist who plies the road oftenly, commended the efforts of Kano State Government in road infrastructure.
Sometimes you can stay here for hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, and most especially now during the rainy season, it is becoming extremely very difficult.
it will reduce the congestions of the traffic of these roads.
The project, which is at 89% completion level, is expected to be completed in September this year.
The flyover, everything has been done except for the wiring course. Since from the piling foundation to the pile caps to the piers and the pier caps, beams, keeping beam to the deck slab, as well as the parapet, as you can see here.
Kabiru and other motorists appeal to the state government to ensure speedy completion of the flyover and other projects across the state. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
You're still watching Panorama live on the network service of the NTA. We're going to short break now. The program will be right back. Stay tuned.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
In tune. Kaduna State Government, in partnership with international donor agencies, are scaling up strategies to end malaria in the state. This coming on the heels of inauguration of Nigeria and Malaria Council by President Muhammadu Buhari. Achari Maxwell takes a look at efforts to curtail the situation.
Over the years, Nigeria, in collaboration with international donor agencies, have been waging war against malaria. Various strategies have been adopted with little or no corresponding effect. Kaduna State is also developing strategies in dealing with malaria, with health facilities playing key role in providing medication. Malaria among children between the age of 5 to 10 is endemic. 6-year-old Hawa Salihu is battling with fever. However, doctors are up and doing to save her life.
We had about 1,050 something malaria cases per se. So if we should divide that to a daily that the doctors always see them, you find out that they are up to 50 or 50 something thereabout.
Federal government is partnering global communities through coordinated actions and mobilization of resources for the implementation of policies with commitments towards making Nigeria a malaria-free country soon.
The Kaduna government have been trying to make sure that the issue of rollback malaria is well implemented by way of bringing a mosquito net to be distributed. So these are the role, and then making sure that the drugs are available.
Recently, we just got some supplies of anti-malarials, artesunate injection, artemether lumefantrine for the children less than 5 years. We have for the adult also. We have the by 6, by 12, and by 24, which can also serve for those that are under 5, for those that are even above 5.
How close are we to getting there is what we shall find out soon. Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
With me to speak further on that background report is Dr. Dangasule Emmanuel. He is the manager state malaria elimination program here in Kaduna. You're welcome to Panorama.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, as an agent of the State Ministry of Health here in Kaduna trying to kick out malaria, so what's the endemic nature of malaria in Kaduna?
Okay, thank you very much for having me, and good afternoon, viewers. As we all know, malaria is one of the leading causes of death, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, and because of the population of Nigeria, we contribute a lot to that. So Kaduna State is not an exception. The last survey of the National Demographic Health Survey 2018 puts the prevalence at 33%. Especially in children under 5. But we're hopeful that the next survey, which is billed to be out next year, would have had a reduction in the cases, because a lot has been done in the fight against malaria.
Okay, so what's your take on the establishment of the federal government's initiative towards rolling out malaria?
Yeah, I received the news of the inauguration of the National Emergency Malaria Council by His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari with so much glee and excitement, and I feel it's timely. We've been having a huge gap in funds in our efforts in bringing out activities or executing activities that will reduce the prevalences of malaria. And another thing, aside bridging the gap fund, we feel it's a way of the citizens owning the processes of the fight against malaria. Yeah, hitherto it used to be donor funded, but now having the conglomeration of those business moguls that I'm sure have the interest of Nigerians at heart, pulling their resources together and supporting the fight against malaria, I think it's just a matter of time. We're going to begin to see the effect in terms of reduction in the numbers of both morbidity and mortality of malaria.
Okay, let's come back home now. How effective is it in Kaduna?
Okay, we might not have like a council just like it's been inaugurated by the president, but we have a very important coordinating body in the state malaria elimination unit. I'm sure was born out of efforts in bringing down the cases. So we are like the coordinating unit at the high level, and we have foot soldiers in the 23 local government area of the state. We call them the rollback malaria officers. So whatever program it is from the national, the state will adopt it, and ultimately it's been executed at the local government area. So if you recall, we just distributed about 5.5 million pieces of insecticide treated nets, and we graciously got the support of Her Excellency, the wife of the governor, architect Hadiza Ismail Rufai, as our net ambassador. So I think having a supporting individual like that, it will not be hard for us to have a similar council in Kaduna that would help bridge the gap of funding in the fight against malaria.
Okay, you just talked about the 23 local government. What about Benangwari? Because I know Benangwari is one of the hotspots in terms of, insecurity. So how have you been able to penetrate that?
Okay, yeah, interestingly, that was what our supporting partner thought when we started the pre-implementation activity of this distribution of insecticide-treated nets. So we vowed not to leave any local government untouched. So our programs cover even Beningwari. It will interest you to know that we still have a rollback malaria officer under the local government health authority in Beningwari, and of course our bi-monthly distribution of routine malaria commodities, the anti-malarias, the insecticide-treated nets, the artesunate. We all supplied some to Benangwari. So insecurity has not really been a problem in us reaching out to our people there.
Okay, so lastly, can you tell us your expectations?
Okay, yes, my expectation with the inauguration of this council, I'm very hopeful to ultimately trickle down to the state, and it will eventually reduce the incidences and prevalences of malaria in Nigeria and Kaduna to be particular.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Danga, for coming to the program.
Thank you for having me.
I've been speaking with Mr. Emmanuel Danga from the Ministry of Health here in Kaduna, talking about the eradication of malaria. And moving on, women and vulnerable groups in Ladoga rural community in Kacha local government area of Kaduna State have benefited from cash grant to support federal government policy of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. The intervention is an intervention of Commissioner, National Population Commission, Kaduna State, Abdul Malik Dongwa, to improve economic fortunes of the people in his immediate community. Haruna Muhammad tells us more.
a Fulani settlement with more than 80,000 population who are predominantly farmers and herders. The economy of the community revolves around small-scale businesses. Enhancing the economic fortunes of 41 indigents informed the decision of Abdulmalik Durungwa to dole out financial assistance to invest in their local businesses.
I want to assure him that we are going to use the money to enhance our businesses as expected.
I will invest it wisely in my business so that we grow from 1,000 to 1,000.
The gesture is to support federal and Kaduna State government social inclusion programs.
It's very important that we do this once in a while in the society to be able to assist little people that are doing small business. That is what is going to keep them very busy here in Labduga, so that it will prevent them from doing some things in the society that is unknown.
We are going to set up a committee that will be moving around to see. We knew how the business was or presently is. So in some maybe 3 months we are going to go around and see how have you improved.
Plan to extend same gesture to physically challenged in the area is in the pipeline. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
In line with best global practice of providing digital learning environment, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria has inaugurated Smart Classroom to promote efficiency in learning and research development. It is a project under the International Center for Higher Education Innovation of the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Tina Turu tells us more.
Classroom is a flagship project for transformation of education in developing countries, which started in 2019 with a memorandum of understanding between the Ahmadu Bello University and the International Center for Higher Education Innovation project under the auspices of UNESCO. The project is to, among other things, enable students attend online courses and make information readily available for research activities.
This is but UNESCO promotes also gender equality and also Africa. And we want to have this implement from China side that how much help we can render to Nigerians.
This is a huge addition to our stock of infrastructure that will assist considerably in our march towards online and distance education.
Proper environment for development of digital content, which is very critical for online and blended teaching and learning.
International collaborators who joined the event virtually cited lessons learned from the pandemic as reasons for supporting the project to completion by ensuring infrastructural development and digital transformation in teaching and learning, as well as enhancing the quality of education. Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmad Nuhu Bamali, applauds the university for what he described as strategic partnership.
The huge investment here, is something that will certainly benefit the university and the community also.
Ahmadu Bello University Zaria is the first university in Nigeria to own a smart classroom through the UNESCO ITI project. Tina Turu, NTA News.
Moving on to religious matters, Kaduna State Programs Board has engaged Muslims and Christians considered stakeholders in a combined meeting to review the performance of the state in this year's Hajj and Christian pilgrimage. This is the first time the board hosted the engagement to come up with a practical solution for future success of both exercise. Umar Ajingi reports.
2,000 Muslims from Kaduna State performed the concluded Hajj exercise in the Holy Land, while the Christian visited Jerusalem on spiritual rejuvenation. They are all back home now. Among them is Habiba Osman and Simon, who was in Jerusalem.
In Kaduna State, we had 30 pilgrims that were able to make it to Jerusalem. We want to thank God. The exercise was an awesome experience in the presence of God, whom we are serving, to rekindle our faith and to be able to see the places we have been reading the Holy Book.
In most cases, you see these Asian countries, when it is time for going to Jamrat from Mina, they normally go with a train. While we mostly the Africans, I don't know much about, but I know our own Kaduna, no, of Nigeria. We are not entitled to go with the train. We have to go with our legs. But if they can improve that, I think, alhamdulillah, since this is an ibadah.
Engaging the likes of Habiba and others is what informed this review meeting to address issues affecting welfare as well as conduct of pilgrims to proffer solutions.
We went as senior officials of government, so we may not have seen the challenges, and that is why we have created this avenue where we discuss with all stakeholders. Let us know what went wrong, what were the challenges that they face,
so that we can make corrections and improvements. That's why we're here.
Take stock of what happened with a view to coming up with a new strategy.
Speakers at the event called for synergy between Kaduna State government and the authorities responsible for organizing the exercise for better efficiency in the future Hajj operations. In Kaduna, Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Next is sports update with Cynthia Ogun.
We begin with football, where coach of the Super Eagles Team B, Salisu Yusuf, says the players are not under any pressure ahead of today's final CHAN 2022 qualifier against Ghana. Speaking after the team's final training in Ghana, Coach Salisu said the players are focused ahead of the match scheduled to be played at 5 p.m. Nigerian time in Cape Coast.
I have an idea where they have strength as a team, and we'll see how we can be able to contend the strength and exploit the weaknesses.
Beyond football, 3 matches will be decided Sunday in